He says, you'd be surprised if I tell you that people who made Danko blow were not even, I didn't even know. So that's quite telling. Morning, and I am back. You guys last saw me a few days back. And them was under the flu. But, you know, we get better. We get back to work like other children. So I thought, let's go back. If my voice still sounds funny, don't worry. It will come back as I'm continuing. And so there was a story that I did some time ago of a gospel musician that was under Bushiri's gospel choir. It was very big, it was very well known. But after Bushiri's entire, he then had to go and rebrand himself. Now, we spoke about this particular young man, but there were a lot of people that might have felt maybe the story was a little bit stretched. I think his name is EZRA EXPOSE or something like that. There has been a bit of an update on that story, confirming that he was no longer part of the ECG. AMT7 made a video about it, and so I wanted to kind of add to that. And so you can go and check AMT7's video. It does kind of extend this one. Now, I found a statement that someone had posted. There's a YouTube channel that made a video about it, which is how I actually got to know that he had actually left. And so they published a statement from the Major One Updates page. I did try to find the statement. I didn't. Maybe it was posted a while ago or something like that. Saying public notice, we have been instructed to inform every son or daughter of Major One and all our fellow ECG church members worldwide and all ministers with their own ministries under Professor Bushiri that this man in the picture below, who used to be named Jennings or real name Ezra, is no longer a member of our church. The main reason is basically they go on to talk about a lot of things. I did highlight that there was a statement that I'll come back to give or show if there was any update, right? And so this was the statement that I saw. I did go try and look for it myself. I couldn't find it. And so the only reference that I had for that statement was that particular YouTube video. So I don't know if this statement is real or not. They are the ones that posted the statement. And so basically they're just saying don't interact with the person. And that's a very, very common theme for Carl churches. These Carl churches, they label. When a person leaves the church, they are labeled somehow and made to look a certain way. And when they mentioned the fame part, it caught my interest, because then I went into his post. So I checked up his post and stuff like that. And I found this post that he made in the Arts and Entertainment Kingdom Mindset. Creates money, serves, fame, talents, gifts, careers in God. We need a panel for these issues. Like, what does fame look like? What does it look like for the kingdom? Basically, that entire yes. I did see people from ECG that were attacking him on the basis of what his job was previously. And for me, that's ridiculous. When people do that, it's just a very childish thing to do. So they were saying, he was just a disgruntled policeman, and now he's established himself as a musician and so forth. They're like, oh, this average policeman, what. Yeah, like, that's a very childish mindset. But for them, just because they are not, it's childish. Stop doing that, okay? I've seen that a lot with a lot of people and stuff like that. But for him, it wasn't really about that. It wasn't really about small job, high job. For him, on one of the posts that he made about that particularly, he labeled it as just a high-risk job, you know, to doing a job that he's very passionate about. And then I did see that he actually posted up about his song in February this year. I think it reached platinum status. That's the, I don't know if that's the song, Danko. I actually did get to actually hear the song. And so he was celebrating things. Now, that actually got me very interested in the rest of the story. Now, I'm going to read you a couple of posts here. stick around with me. He says, sometimes in order to grow, you gotta go. Okay? This was posted in 19th of March. He says, there is a bigger door with your name on it. That's what he posted. Just go. Okay? Posted this early this year. Right? That's one post. Now, don't mind the cough. Please don't even mention it in the comments. But I then started to notice that a lot of people in his comments were trying to attribute his success to the church, right? That kind of caught my attention because I was like, oh, okay. People feel like he got this popularity in his song because he was in Bushiri's church. And I'm telling you, every time someone said that, he never responded. You can go check it for yourself, okay? Like, for instance, there was this other person there, Tammy Lunda or something like that, who said, thanks to the God of Major One, had made you, he made you known to trillions and to people. And it's always appreciate those who marketed you to the world. So they have this idea that being in the church, listen to me, being in a big church like that, the church is too big for you to really stand out. Especially if the church doesn't like put you there and say, hey, he does music and stuff like that. It just doesn't go anywhere. And so you can see the post that this person made. By the way, he didn't comment on that post, right? And the part that I found quite interesting was this comment here made by Davy Dave, right? Davy Dave said, I was with you before Danko, the song, right, was released. And it was like, I can remember like it was like yesterday. He says, yeah, I remember. So you can see when people are talking about ECG, whatnot, he doesn't respond. But when people are talking about his journey individually, he responds. So I started to notice that. And blah, 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 unlike other artists who's there to start from the bottom. And then he goes on there and he explains how he promoted the song himself. He says, you'd be surprised if I tell you that people who made Danko blow were not even, I didn't even know. So that's quite telling. Because a lot of people, it explains why he wasn't responding to the other comment. You can go check his post. He says, no, it's not the church. It's not Bushiri's church that made my song blow up. It's people I didn't know on TikTok. He goes on to explain that I had to reinvent myself, okay? He had to go and start these platforms and put himself on TikTok and whatnot in order for him to be visible. Because before that, it wasn't. And even in other comments over there, don't mind my hesitation to sneeze. We can't wait for sickness forever. So I found it quite interesting. A lot of people were told, I think there he was actually, on that particular post, he was actually just talking about his story. When people spoke about God of Major One, he never responded. Okay? When he spoke about I had to start from scratch, I only had 350 pullers in my pocket and blah, blah, blah. Like when he was giving the breakdown of his story, that's where that post was. And people wanted to credit Bushiri's church. And he had to snatch that and say, nope, that church did nothing for Manthem. So for those that felt like I was just badly labeling it, no, he left the church. But while people might think, oh no, the church did all these things for you and then you left. No, they did nothing for him. Being in these churches doesn't mean you will get promoted. And this story is quite an interesting one. He had to go out, and once he was outside, he could figure himself out. Now, for those people that thought maybe Ricky was just making it up, you can check AMT7. He did a very well detailed video. Here, I wanted to highlight another angle from his own thing. He says, you'll be shocked. The people that made my song popular were people I didn't know. He left under those circumstances, and he had to realize himself. But for you guys who are still over there defending everything, you never hear those things. A lot of people are in pain because they're in this environment. They expect something. Never happens. He woke up and he realized, smell the coffee. It's not going to get done. And he went out and he did it himself. They didn't do nothing for him. Go check the comments. When they credit God of Major One, he doesn't answer. When that person came up and he said, oh, the church, he said, nope, you'll be shocked.